Farm by Tesla Park. And we've done the farmers market for over 15 years in my small CSA, and started a farmers food project with Marley over 3 years ago. I'm going to let Jessica introduce herself, and then I'll take this back in the morning.
I'm Jessica Saucedo. I helped to found the Governor Folk School of Bemidji, which is a hub for all things local and sustainable. I met Cheryl through the local foods organizational meeting, and we were fast friends and shared common values and sustainability. And it was my honor to help her advance her school project just through the networking process through Rail Rivers Folk School, and also bringing in some other little background skills.
I and a couple other of our growers have talked about for a long time before we started this project. Oh, okay, does that help? About the idea of selling produce as a group and giving each farmer credit for their products, so their names on every box or bag that is delivered. And that was important for all of us. And some of them were Dwayne Hayes, Matt Roy, Greg Goya. It was about 3 years ago, and we met, decided that, and I contacted Marlene Webb, and we got started. And it's worked out really well. My personal goal with Headwaters Foods was to allow farmers to sell more of the produce we grow. I was really frustrated with the amount of, and all other farmers were, the amount of produce that we would take home after a market day. And sometimes going to waste because the farmers, I don't know if you know, but they work till late every night. They don't always get to have an opportunity to drop it off someplace, even though we would try. Also, the farmers wanted to sell more produce, but not having an outlet to sell their fabulous, successful produce for that season. And another point is farmers would like for one of the partners not to have to work outside the home. I had seen that, but to farm full time. And also I wanted acknowledgement for what each farm produced, where it came from. So Marlene knows what farm that produce came from, and they get credit for that. My other second goal was to provide healthier, fresh, naturally grown food to a greater number of our community members. Produce not sitting for weeks, shipped around and stored in warehouses and processing centers, losing nutrition every step of the way. And having grown up in the trucking industry, I knew as a young child that the best food went to New York City. It was a common fact back then when I was a kid. Which brings me to another point, and that is the wealthiest among us will always have healthy food and health care and other things. I wanted to see equal access to naturally grown, fresh, nutrient-rich food for all members of our communities. And so that was why we started Headwaters Foods. There's a lot of moments in the process of providing food for our schools that I remember. And one was the first year we did Farm to School. And it was right at the beginning of the season. We still had the farmers market going on, and a mom came up to me at the market. She had 2 of her younger children with her, and they spotted on the cucumbers. And they're my favorite convenience food. And the mom told us how her middle school age son had come home and convinced her to get some more lemon cucumbers, and he was not with her, but they knew what to look for. And I knew his enthusiasm for this simple vegetable with the excitement that they had. And for them to get some to take home and share with their family. The following spring, preparing for the garden year, again, a professional I knew had a middle schooler, so I asked her if she had, remembered any of the farm to school stuff from last fall. And she did. She remembered the cucumbers again. And this was 8 months later, so that was nice to hear. And one of the fun things that happened is when Pat, with Neva Schools, was just bringing her product in the back door, and I was holding the door for her. The kids were on a break between classes, and they were all running in the halls, and they spotted it, and it's like, oh, they wanted to grab those cherry tomatoes and eat them. You could see their enthusiasm to get to lunch. And that's the success of this, from my point of view. For all this to happen, it requires working as a team with the same goals of providing fresh, sustainable, healthy vegetables and fruits for our children. It's working in partnership with, of course, the farmers. These are the most admirable and dedicated people I know, and that comes from the bottom of my heart. The SHIP people, community support, businesses and other institutions, Linda, and most importantly, the school's willingness and flexibility to adapt as the seasonality of the beautiful vegetables dictate. We as farmers have no control of the weather. And so in a hot year, we've got lots of tomatoes. I have CSA members who don't want to see another tomato by the end of the year. Cucumbers, sweet peppers, and fabulous tasty. Pie pumpkins, watermelons, beans. And then in the cold years, we get the carrots and beets and peas and kohlrabi, broccolis, radishes, loaded with vitamin C. The school said they're open to trying a wide variety of veggies and fruits. Farmers have grown. Marlene of Bemidji has also purchased like 1 pound bags of cilantro and basil, things we don't think of, so that has worked really well. And we appreciate all the extra prep time that I see a lot of these cooks here, that it takes for the cooks to prepare the local foods. It's been a learning process, and I want to thank everyone for all the support.
I won't take too much more of the time. I was just going to mention that this sheet really was, in retrospect, something that I wish I would have had when I started helping Cheryl. And what it does is just identify the real life situations that you're going to have and try to visualize through the process to find out it's not always the easiest thing, or it might be the hardest thing is the one thing you didn't think of. And so I just encourage you to use this, and I'm here for questions if there's anything else I can do to help your program. Thank you.